Good afternoon, Facebook community. I am Jennifer Norene, and I am with Beyond Brand Collective. I'm an advertising agency that works with Coldwell Banker, and I'm here today with Pamela Begley. Hello, Pam. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Jennifer?
I'm good. I know that you work with Coldwell Banker Best Homes in the Port Ludlow office, but you service all of Jefferson County, right? So,
That's correct. And I also service Clallam and Kitsap counties. I lived in Kitsap
yes,
for about 11 years.
very good. So the full area, not just the Port Ludlow area. Do you live and work in that area?
I live in Port Ludlow and I also
Mhm.
hang my hat in the Port Ludlow office. Yes.
Nice. Very nice. So, how long have you been a real estate broker, Pam?
I just celebrated my full seventh year. So now I'm starting on my eighth year as licensed. And my very first year in real estate, I worked as an unlicensed assistant for the owner of our company, which was a terrific opportunity for me to learn from the best.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Are you talking about Karen Best?
I
Yes.
am.
Yes, she's fantastic. She is so hard to catch. She's so busy doing all the good things that she does. I really enjoy working with Karen. So today, and this is a topic I believe that you chose, we want to talk about the process of buying a home. And if you've never bought or sold a home, it can be pretty looming and overwhelming. So someone that's done that over and over again is probably someone good to explain it. So you can just pretend like I've never interviewed ever a broker on this topic and just tell me in your own, in your own style, what is that process and where do you start? What's the first thing you do if you think you're pretty sure you want to look for a new home?
Well, first thing I'll do when I meet people for the first time and they're looking for a home, I will ask them, have you purchased a home before? Because that gives me some idea if they've had some experience. I'll
Mhm.
ask them when and where, because when times have changed and real estate rules and laws are changing all the time. And
Mhm.
where also makes a difference because even in different counties, but particularly different states, the law of agency and real estate is different. So it's good for me to qualify them to see what past experience, if any, home buyer has had.
Yes. So where are they fitting this experience into, and have they bought and sold or just purchased? It's all kind of a variety there. So
Right.
so we meet, and you explain to me what you're going to be doing for me, and I tell you my situation, and then what is the first thing that I do or you do for me in the process of gaining a new home?
Well, the funnest part of real estate is going out and looking at homes, but we can't jump in the car and go do that till we have some information and some knowledge about the power of this particular buyer. Are they
Sure.
pre-qualified? Do they have the extra funds for closing costs? Do they know where they'll get their down payment? If they're looking for a loan, do they know what type of loans are available out there? And if they don't have a lender, I will find them a very qualified local lender that I know and work with well. And I've got several that I can suggest to people. And there are boutique banks that can help people with homes that are hard to loan on, like, for example, a single wide manufactured home, which most banks won't loan on, and a lot of other uh, properties such as vacant land, which most lenders won't loan on. So
Mhm.
that's a key component before we go shopping for a house, is making sure that the buyer is ready to purchase, has the funds, is knowledgeable about the types of loans that are out there, and make sure that they get help from other licensed affiliates such as lenders, title, and escrow companies so that they can have a good process from start to finish.
Yeah. So how are you going to finance your home? So you figure that out. And I would assume that if I don't have a banker I trust or someone that I want to use for the loan process, that you have recommendations that you make.
Absolutely. I have long time commitments, or excuse me, long time relationships with lenders and other affiliates, again, title, escrow,
Hmm.
even your home inspectors and handymen and other people that help a client through the buying process.
Yes. Yes. Makes sense that you would have an existing network of people, which is part of the value of working with a tenured real estate broker, because you have people that you know and trust, because there are a lot of players. There's inspection, there's financing, there's, the paperwork and the contracting and all the escrow, all of that. And it all involves people, right? And it's easier to work with someone who's built trust with those people than to go out into that world on your own and figure that out. And who should I work with? So I think that's definitely a value that you bring, especially as someone that's been doing this for a while. So so what else? So what's the next, once we figure that out and we have an amount that we can spend and we know what we're, in general, we know the areas we want to live in, what's the next step?
Well, you just hit on something I was going to say. If someone knows where they want to be and what type of a home they want, that makes the process simpler. If somebody has no idea, if they're new, if they're out of state and want to look at the different communities, because our county is large and the styles in the community, they're different within the county. So if someone's got that figured out, then we start narrowing down on other criteria. Very important. What's your price point? What do you want, a single level home or a two-story home? Do you want acreage? Do you want something small? Do you want a condo? So it's turnkey. So it's a lifestyle that somebody is trying to find, and it's my job to help them find the lifestyle that will meet their long-term needs.
Yes. So what's the fit for them? Not certainly not what community you think would fit for them, but who are they and what do they like and what's important to them? And I'm sure it's schools, it's, is it pet friendly? Will we be comfortable in our lifestyle? All kinds of things. Water view, no water view, all those things. I'm sure there's a lot of things.
Are there hospitals around? Are there other services around? Can I get good internet in this area? Where do I go for my groceries? So there's
all of that.
It's all of that.
Yeah. And I'm sure that the more upfront interviewing you do, learning those things, or just getting to know a person, building a relationship, the better you are at making a selection for them, or making choices for what to show them, I would think.
And it's not uncommon for me to work for many months, even over a year, with a particular client until we find the home or the property that works best for them, especially nowadays when our inventory supply is so low.
Yeah, it's limited, right? I know.
It is very limited.
Yes, in most areas. So we go out on the weekend and we look at homes together and we find a couple that we're interested in. Do we narrow in on one? Do we investigate two or three, or how does that work?
Well, it really depends upon the climate. And right now, there's not a lot of time to investigate more than one because properties are going so quickly. In today's culture, it's very common for a property to be listed, and then within a week for offers to have a review date, and the sellers and their agent will review offers for any given property. So we don't have a lot of time to think about it or to look at other homes. The key thing is we have to be ready. We have to have that lender's pre-qualification letter in hand. We have to have our boots on. We have to have the gas filled in the car, and we have to keep communicating with each other and say, hey, this property just come on, let's go see it. And if they're out of area, if they're out of state, I will take my phone or my iPad and I will go and video it with them. And there might even be a Matterport video, which I always do on my listing so that people can see throughout the house without having to be there. So those are some of the steps that we'll take to make sure that we get to the property, get eyes on it, get as much information as possible on it. So when in this competitive market, one comes on the market that might fit one of my buyer's needs, we're on it.
Yep. Sounds good. So it's a little unlike the past, where you would probably take a few weekends and look at quite a bundle of homes. I mean, now it's kind of like, what do you like? Let's focus in. This is going to move quickly. I don't want you to miss what you want. It's a different process. Is that just based on the current market conditions? Is that why it's like that now?
That's exactly why it's that way, Jennifer. In the planned resort of Port Ludlow, we currently only have 4 homes for sale. Mm-hmm. So the demand is very high. We have a lot of buyers, and obviously inventory is low. So we have to be ready. We have to be pre-qualified. We have to sacrifice other things, perhaps like dinner or another previous engagement we've made, because if somebody really wants this property, it's important that we go out and get it
right now.
Yeah. Because it's not just weekends, it's every day of the week.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. And it's submitting an offer amongst many offers, right?
That's right. So we have tricks in the trade too, to try to make the best offer possible.
Yep. Yeah. It's no longer something you can kind of just stretch out over time. And well, have you heard back yet? It's like, I've heard that just from colleagues and friends in this process that it moves very quickly and you have to be pretty aggressive and hope that someone doesn't show up with cash. And is there more cash offers and more? Is the transaction different than it used to be?
We have about 33% of cash sales in Jefferson County, but it's not just cash. It's also other terms. It's the closing date. It's did people waive inspections? Did they waive homeowners association reviews? Are they willing to help the client out perhaps by getting rid of the furniture that the client doesn't have time or energy to move? There's a lot of different factors involved.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. It's really a shifted game, isn't it? It's very different.
It really is.
Yeah. Wow. So, and so then what? So we submit an offer and we play the waiting game, or what is it we do next?
Yes, we submit the offer. We put our best foot forward. We put in our pre-qualification letters. We do our evidence of funds to show that the client does have the money for closing and for a down payment. And we wait and we try to be patient and we try not to hover. We try to be genuine. We put our best foot forward. And it's difficult for sellers. So I try to be very conscientious of their needs and what this means to them, because oftentimes it's a buyer's biggest asset. It is their lifestyle. It is many times too a hope and a dream that they can come to a particular area, have that water view they've dreamed of, being close to the resort or to the bay or to the culture of Port Townsend or other areas that the Olympic Peninsula provides to us.
A lot of reasons. It's not just the home, is it? It's the kids that want to go to the particular school, or we've always dreamed of retiring here, or I really want to work remotely here because this works with my job across the water, or whatever it is. There's a lot that goes into buying a home, right? It's a big decision with a lot of factors. And so it's kind of fascinating to me that process now is such a fast moving one, because you're kind of taking people along this sort of emotional roller coaster necessarily very quickly. So I'm sure that that's challenging at times.
It can be. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's an exciting thing. And I love the business. And the most important thing for me is being able to get people to the next steps in the chapters of their lives, whether they're aging out and they need to go to an assisted living or need to go closer to family, or somebody's having a baby and they want to be closer to family. And then for the people wanting to realize their dream to be in a different place, like the beauty of Jefferson County, you really want to make that happen for people and make it as easy as possible.
Yeah. It's an exciting time of someone's life. There's a lot at stake. Do you feel pressure sometimes? Like, oh my goodness, if I can't make this work, this is going to disappoint this family or this person so much? Or is that
I do feel pressure at times, but I rarely think I'm not going to make this work. In fact, I have a situation today where the other agent goes, oh, I hope we can get this done. And I said, we are going to get this done.
Yep.
And I'm very fortunate in this situation to have a very cooperating agent, and that is key to getting transactions put together and closed in as easily as possible for our clients.
Nice.
Who we work for and we have a duty to.
Yep, that's for sure, because you work for the customer.
Yeah, I think anybody that knows me knows that I will try really hard to get that done.
Yep. And there's a lot in attitude. There's a magical aspect of your attitude, right? I mean, you can think all the things that could go wrong, but you could just say, you just can be resolved that it's going to go right and we're going to get this done. And we're
That's right.
Going to get it done on time.
We actually have a list at the office. It's a 8.5 by 11 page of 88 things that can go wrong in your transaction, which I don't share with my clients because I don't need to make them freak out.
Right. Don't tell them that, for sure.
We're here to help them get past those hurdles. And there are hurdles sometimes.
So what goes on? Sorry, go ahead.
I said there might be the unexpected colony in the crawl space, or there might be a title issue, or there might be, a bat in the attic.
You've probably seen it all, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. So from the time that you present the offer to the time that I have, keys in my hand, a buyer has keys in their hand, what goes on there? So you've given the offer is accepted?
The offer is accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So the first thing we do is we open up escrow for our clients, and that's just simply to send escrow a copy of the purchase and sale agreement, and escrow starts their process, and they forward that information along to the title company. And the title company will be in contact with our buyers and with, of course, the agents as well as the sellers. And we have 5 days to review the title and make sure that that is all right. And I always refer my clients to the licensed title and escrow companies for their expert answers, because I am not a licensed title or escrow officer. So that's one of our affiliates that I know well. There are several of them that I know well and work with. So that's one aspect. We may or may not have a home inspection. And so I would be responsible for helping them find home inspectors that meet their needs, attending those home inspections with them, guiding them through the process of how to do their response that best fits their needs. And say that we want some repairs done. I can help them find handymen, which is challenging at this point since the trades are extremely busy, to try to get the home in the order of which they need it to be before we go to closing. So there's that aspect of it. There's just a lot that can happen. Some transactions are very simple. Some take a lot longer because we might need to get permitting. We might need to get repairs. We might need to get, again, title. We might have some issues with loans. One thing a buyer should never do is to move their money around when they're in a transaction, because it can stop their loan in its tracks. So a buyer does not want to open up a credit card, close a credit card, sell or buy a car or any big furniture, or even change funds from one bank account to another, because the loan officers will find out about that and it will stop your transaction.
Oh my goodness. Good information to know. Wow. So you're advising on all those pieces to get to the point where they can get their keys and move in, right?
That and more. Every situation is different. Every property is different. Every client is different. So it's never dull, which makes this, I wouldn't even want to call it work sometimes, but makes this career really exciting.
Yeah, fun thing. It sounds like you enjoy your work. Well, thank you. I think that makes perfect sense. It's not the first time I've heard it, but I think that you explain it really clearly. And again, I just would reiterate how much I would want to work with someone that's experienced, right? And also, it has a very strong brand behind you. I think Coldwell Banker has a very strong, reputable brand. I know they're, if not the oldest, one of the oldest brokerage companies in the world, and just a very trustworthy brand. And I know a lot about your team, and I just have been very impressed. So I know that if it was me, I would certainly select someone like Pam. So if we want to work with you, Pam, how do we get a hold of you?
Well, you can call me on my cell phone, which is 360-301-3694.
Okay.
You can always Google me, Pam or Pamela Begley, Coldwell Banker, or Pam Begley Realtor. Okay. And my email is pam@pambegleyrealtor.com.
Sounds good. Well, thanks very much. It was good to speak with you, and thanks for educating us on the process of buying a home.
Thanks for the opportunity, Jennifer. I appreciate it.
Take care.
All right.